Hi guys, I'm here with Mocha, Mattie, Adrian, Josh, and Kenny, and today we're gonna talk about May movie releases.
Sweet.
Sounds good.
Yeah. All right. First up is A Bigger Splash.
Do you want to start that one off?
I admittedly, full disclosure, know nothing about this movie.
I think that's kind of what happens with trailers, right? You don't
Yeah,
really
I do
know
not
anything about them other than who's in it and kind of the general vibe.
Yeah.
I did find it interesting though how vague it kind of seemed. Even the story, how they kind of presented the characters in the trailer seemed like the relationships are kind of very blurred in their signs and all that, and they're very complex, extremely complex. Like this guy shows up and obviously he's a little bit wild, and they assume that the girl who shows up with him is some protege or some like young thing that he's got on his arm, and then it turns out it's his daughter, and that throws them off, and then it goes from there, and everyone's kind of like in this odd love square kind of thing.
Yeah, love triangle.
Yeah, well, it's more than triangle. There's like six people going at it, man.
Yeah, sure.
With the girl?
It's strange, right? Did you notice that? 'Cause
Yeah.
I kind of noticed this weird like vibe between Ralph Fiennes and his protectiveness over his daughter, her character, and then Tilda Swinton's relationship to this girl, or kind of how she feels. I couldn't tell if it was intimidated or like worried by her, but then her partner in the film or in the trailer was very adamant about like being around her but not wanting to be around her, and you know, kind of like this awkward like taboo that was being built around this person who is the most free-spirited of all, who even makes the comment of like, you guys are pretty domesticated for being rock stars, when she's the one who is not famous at all and she wants to take advantage of this lifestyle.
Right.
That's what I noticed, at least.
Yeah. The cast is pretty impressive, though. I mean,
absolutely.
obviously, you know, you have Ray Fiennes and Tilda Swinton, and I think there's a few others too that.
Dakota
make an
Johnson.
appearance. Dakota Johnson. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I think it's going to be pretty exciting.
Up next is Captain America: Civil War.
Go from something really heartfelt to something that like really comes out.
Yep.
So this is the next movie in the Avengers franchise, obviously. I mean, this one's pretty cool because, like, you know, you have the whole... It's basically another Avengers right after Age of Ultron, but, I mean, you have them fighting it with each other, or against each other, you know, like you have Team Cap versus, like, Team Iron Man, so...
Often joked as Avengers 2.5.
Yeah, basically, might as well, because Infinity War is going to be a while, so... but yeah, I know it's going to be... I'm pretty stoked for this one. It's going to be great just to see, like, who comes out on top, really, and then obviously you have all these superheroes joining up with them, and it's going to be the first time we see Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man.
Hopefully that's not the new Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because, you know, with when you have a group of superheroes that are, you know, all working towards the same goal, and all of a sudden they're in conflict and they're fighting, it really makes you see everything in each individual person's perspective, as opposed to as an entire group. And I think that really adds to their character a little bit, because I feel like some people kind of drawn in the background because they're, you know, either going with the flow or they're not as important as other people in it. Precisely. But yeah, and it's also with the addition of Spider-Man, I'm really curious to see how that's going to affect, you know, the general mood of the whole film.
There's going to be a lot of opposition with everybody, which is going to be pretty interesting to see.
Yeah.
Well, the thing too with Civil War, right, is that, or Marvel in general, I kind of like that they might deviate from the story of the comic books, just based off of what people are seeing from the costume. And I made the comment that it might previously made the comment that it might be just before he gets the Iron Spider suit,
right.
Or if it's just going to be kind of a preface to that story in general, or just take kind of like cues from it and be kind of a spiritual successor to it, not necessarily following the story of the Civil War comic books, but more so kind of painting a different story entirely for people who have not read the comics. Because
Right.
I mean, let's be honest. For as good as comic book nerds as we are, and how much we like the stories, and we've read them all, there's a large portion of the population, movie-going population, that has never gone to a comic book shop and like fingered through all of the comics and picked them out, right? So that's not their lifestyle, but they can appreciate seeing these characters in a movie. So it might be something that's kind of tailored around that audience,
Right.
With cues for.
Well, I'm kind of part of that audience because, as I was saying earlier, I'm not really a comic book person. I haven't read all the comics at all.
neither have I. I'm in the same
Yeah,
boat.
no,
So
I mean,
a lot. I have to admit that a lot of Marvel movies that I've seen in the past, I don't know anything about in terms of the background history and everything. So to me, it's. I'm kind of taking it in with my own perspective,
And that's
it
okay.
becomes a whole different story for me.
That's okay,
So-
right? And again, it's a story tailored to someone who might not be as invested in these characters as other people, and that's not to
Right.
say that those people are more. What's what I'm looking for? They're not more. I'm at a loss for a word, but basically, it's accessible. It's accessible
Right.
to more people than just the hardcore guy.
Right. And I think for the hardcore guys, I feel like they may not appreciate the movies as they should, just because they're probably all thinking in terms of the way the comics are supposed to be. And I know that a lot of the reviews that I watch, because I always watch reviews before I actually go out and watch the movie.
See, I don't do that.
And a lot of people, it's all about, oh, it didn't stick to this story, it didn't stick to the comics, and it's. I find it kind of annoying, quite frankly, just because not everyone has seen or has read the comics.
But then you
everything.
also have to take that mantle that whoever's writing this thing is working with a property that has existed for probably longer than they've been alive.
Right.
Right? So they have to
Fair
respect some kind of aspect of the characters.
I
and
mean,
the story
obviously
that's
they
made.
can't. Obviously, they can't stray like ridiculously far from. Otherwise, it just becomes a whole different movie altogether. It would just become another superhero movie kind of thing if they didn't stick to.
What I've come to notice, especially within Marvel itself, there's the multiverse within Marvel. So you go cross into another universe, and there's another Iron Man, or there's another Charles Xavier. So I've come to respect the movies as a universe onto its own. Where they can shift around things, because even within the comic book world, they're always changing things anyways. There are multiverses within Marvel, so I'm okay with the fact that they change things around.
It keeps
it's
it
a matter
fresh,
of presenting that, right?
and
It's a matter of presenting that idea. Because
Of
again,
course.
there's someone who doesn't read the comic books, who doesn't know what a multiverse is.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, Spider-Man.
Well, I understand that.
Right.
Kind of, probably not as
Yeah.
in depth as I.
Well, I mean, I'm
you know,
not like a
but
physicist or anything, or can explain
I
it in
understand
any way,
the
shape, or
premise
form.
of,
But I mean,
right.
like, some people might not know that there's like, sorry, to jump from Marvel to DC, that there's like a planet of DC that's all zombies, right? And they coincide with like the New 52, and then
Right.
there's also another planet where it's like all reversed, or Batman wears a purple suit, and you know.
Right. And I think the fact that it's all, it's really all like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's in space. It has this sort of outer dimension kind of feel to it. All of the Marvel movies. So I feel like it makes sense that they would change
take
up.
liberties with the
Exactly,
the
because universes are not the same.
Yeah, and again-
they can be very different, and so it's cool to explore different universes.
And again, it can't take itself too seriously. I mean, it's a comic book about people with superhuman abilities that don't actually exist, so we can't
Right.
be too literal about
Very true.
how we treat it.
I'm
Very
personally excited for Black Panther's first movie appearance.
Did anyone else notice how they animated the like speed lines on him in the trailer? Like he jumped and there was like lines like coming off him. It's like, is he breaking the sound?
Oh, I didn't notice that actually.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
So they're gonna start making movies on.
I don't know if they're
Panther, or
gonna
is
make a
it
movie
just-
about
He is getting his own personal movie.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Okay, that's cool.
I think like next year, the year after, or something, in a few years at least.
Because honestly, I
I
didn't
believe
know
it's
too much.
2018 where we're
Yeah.
getting the Black Panther.
I didn't know too much about him before Civil War.
He's just a bad dude. That's what you need to know.
Okay. Well, he looks like it in the trailer.
What
so.
I'm excited for, two of my top two. I have a top three list, but that's right. My top three favorite superheroes are Iron Man, Black Widow, and Winter Soldier. I'm just excited that Iron Man and Black Widow are teaming up. I'm a little disheartened that Cap and Winter Soldier opposing them, but yeah, I'm just glad that my top two are teaming up together.
And remind me, Winter Soldier is the guy who used to be Cap's friend. Yeah.
Yeah, Bucky.
Right, Bucky, and which I'm actually really interested to see how that plays off.
And just for those listening, that creaking noise I might hear is the table shifting.
We're bringing this to you live.
We do
from,
apologize.
OCAD in Toronto. where
Our mic is on a
state of the
table,
art.
and I wasn't going to say anything earlier because it wasn't that loud, but now it's getting to a point where it might be overwhelming.
That's my cue to not lean on the table.
Yes. Stay away from the table.
Yeah, I think the obviously you kind of feel like in the Winter Soldier you saw the relationship that by the end of the movie anyway that Bucky and Cap had together. I mean, even though like you see it definitely in the first one, but then obviously in the second one it's kind of cool how like in the end they kind of like I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's been a while since I've seen Winter Soldier, but like obviously I think when Bucky recognizes him, like his memory comes back. I think.
Yes, near the end.
Yeah. And then this one, obviously, you're going to see how they kind of work together. I think.
Yeah.
In the team, so I'm kind of.
Do you guys think
Kicking Iron Man's ass.
Yeah.
Do you guys think he will ever become? How would I put
Captain
it?
America?
No. Bucky. Do you think he would ever get back to the way, or would he always remain that?
I mean that's kind of it's the character already progressed to a certain point. So at this point, he can become his own person. Right? He doesn't have to live in that shadow or go back to it. He doesn't have to go to the go-lucky sidekick. Right? He can kind of carve out his own little chunk of the Marvel.
Fair enough, because he's not really attached to any sort of group
he's
at the moment.
No, actually, I don't know any affiliation that he'd have in the
that I
Marvel
know,
universe.
Alright.
Up next is Money Monster.
We just watched this trailer.
Yeah.
Is
Yes,
this the one where people from Wall Street are humans too? And
Yes.
Bankers are people too, guys, with a lot of money who deserve your sympathy. Yeah. I mean,
I almost feel like you deserve one or the other.
Money or sympathy.
Money and sympathy. I'm
Well,
pretty
what
sure
I-
half of them would pick the money.
What I like about this movie is the fact that we're kind of seeing the perspective of an actual human being who's being affected by.
As far as we
Way-
know,
as
it's
far as
painted
we
that way, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a twist where it's like the guy knows him or something.
Or
possible.
he's like he was like an investment banker. Or
I mean,
some
honestly,
crap, and-
the trailer doesn't really reveal a whole lot.
Yeah.
I feel like it kind of
It just
skips
looks
around.
like a bad guy comes in and starts.
Yeah, that's literally what
Yeah.
it looks like.
Or it looks like the desperate guy down on his luck is
Yeah.
coming to take back what's his, and he's the underdog. But then you end up feeling bad for like the banker. But
Right,
It
right.
could very- it could-
Because now he has to be the person to talk this guy down.
right, he's like the guy
Literally.
who apparently what the trailer paints it as the guy who caused him to lose whatever he had,
And now he's
is
the
also
one
the guy
who has
making
to-
amends
yeah.
for what he did.
Yeah.
So.
Which I do
Pretty much
appreciate movies
taking
like that.
advantage of his money show that he has.
Yeah.
Money Monster.
Money
That's
Monster.
the title of the
Right.
movie.
I have to say this movie though has a really good cast from what I saw. Like
yeah.
George Clooney. I mean Jodie Foster directed it too, so I mean she's making her. I don't know if this
Yeah,
is
that
her
was
directorial
interesting.
debut, but I mean
No,
yeah,
she
it's-
has a few.
Right. Well, it's been a while since we've heard anything from Jodie Foster for me. Anyway,
I actually haven't heard that name in a long time.
Yeah.
Janet?
It's been a while. Who else is in that? Julia Roberts.
Julia Roberts, she's
and
awesome.
I thought I saw Dominic West too, so that.
Jack O'Connell, who's mostly known for Skins season 3 and 4.
I'm just interested to. I wish I knew a little more about the characters and how they play with each other.
Well, again, that's really you get that tidbit, you get that taste that makes you want to think about the character,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And you'd be watching the movie.
Trailer can't reveal.
Fair
too
enough.
much.
Exactly. Right.
That is very true.
Unless it's one of those that like shows you all
I
the
have
best
to
parts.
remember. Yes, right. And then you watch the movie and it's like,
It's like,
okay,
oh
well,
yeah, that was the trailer.
yeah.
Hey, when it does that, so I'm glad it didn't give too much away.
Yeah, it leaves a little to the imagination.
This
Yeah.
movie
Oh, a
kind
lot
of
to the
reminded, like the movie trailer reminded me a bit of The Call with Halle Berry.
Oh,
Okay.
yes. I love that movie,
Yeah, that
actually.
was a really good movie.
Yeah.
But it's just the whole fact of like Julie Roberts playing like Halle Berry's kind of character,
Right,
or
right.
whatever. And then like I don't know, she's like talking him down or whatever through
Yes.
the
Show
screen,
director.
So it's kind of
Well,
yeah.
she's more directing what's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Whereas Halle Berry was more of a like she was actually
She's
the
a
person
911 dispatch or
who.
something.
Yeah.
Up next,
The Lobster.
The Lobster.
That one excited me. Yes,
I'm excited about this movie, and you guys hadn't seen the trailer up until right now.
Yes.
And then we were talking about it. Do we give a synopsis of it, or just kind of like bare bones? So basically, it's this resort for single people where they have, I believe it was a month or something like that.
Yeah.
To basically fall in love with someone, or they turn into an animal.
Of their choice.
Of their choice. Because
yes.
freedom of choice is what this movie's about. I
All
brought
the
up,
irony.
right? I brought up the point that a lot of it is based off of like, it seems very much that it's a commentary on social norms social norms to kind of, fall in love and American dream, 2.5 kids, or, happily married, have a job. But it's also kind of a resistance against that, of what's the consequence of not following that social script, right? You're allowed to be who you want. What's the problem with not falling in love with someone? Why does there have to be a consequence to it that alters your life immensely?
Well, to add to what you were saying, I think it just really shows how much society has such an influence on everything that we do, including our love lives, and it really is a toxic thing, to be honest, because I think, like you were saying, like people shouldn't feel pressured into being in a relationship or whatever the case may be, but this is just how society works.
Yeah,
and
it's an antiquated way of thinking, right? I mean, like, any of you ask your parents and like you tell them, "Oh, I don't want to get married," and they're going to be like, "Haha, you're right." They don't even take the thought seriously.
or you go to like family dinners and everyone's asking you,
when are you getting married to your girlfriend?
Yeah, so
when's the baby
you
coming?
and
When's the wedding? Like, it's just like you haven't even figured out most of your life yet.
Like the default setting is that you need to know what you're going to do with
Exactly.
someone else for the rest of your life. Meanwhile, I'm still trying to graduate.
Right?
I just want to know what I'm having for breakfast.
Right?
First thing.
First
I wake
thing.
up in the morning and don't even know how to sustain myself.
Like, I don't even want to get out of bed most of the time. Like, that's not really something I'm thinking about
All right,
right
so
now.
question, before we do move to the next movie, if we were placed in a society where this actually happens and just all of us decided to be single and we were forced to choose an animal, what animal would we be and why?
I can start that off. I would be a bird of some sort. I don't know what bird. Probably an eagle, just because I love birds. I appreciate birds. Maybe an owl.
An owl?
That's a good
I
one.
would be an
nocturnal.
I would definitely be an owl.
That's a good one.
They're really majestic. They're of course they can see at night, which is pretty awesome. It's almost like having a superpower.
They're quiet when they need to be.
Exactly.
But also very, very fearsome when the occasion rises.
Which is kind of my personality. I'm generally
Look at
really
you,
quiet
selling
and
for the
very
ladies.
reserved, but I can
If
be
you'd like to
feisty.
book a date,
Daryl?
I would honestly be a gorilla because, well, you're still kind of human in a sense.
I see
And
that.
have opposable thumbs. I can still play Xbox.
yeah, if you don't crush the
Biggest
And
concern is
Xbox
Xbox.
playing gorilla, I think I would enjoy that.
That should be on Twitch.
I would pay money.
I would pay money to watch that happen. Yeah. And gorillas are smart.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly. Josh.
I think I'd probably be a bear. I don't know. I like bears. They're nice and.
You guys are gonna hate my answer. Y'all so majestic. I'm gonna go last. Just
A
mess
bear is not majestic.
with you. A
No.
bear can run 70 miles an hour. Bears are majestic as
That is badass, not majestic. When I think of the word majestic, I think of an eagle or some sort of a deer or something like that.
a stag. It's romantic.
Fair enough.
I would be. I've discussed this many a time before. It's an option for me was an owl, but if we came down to it, I would definitely be a peacock. They're just bright in color. The males are. And one of my favorite lines from the movie The Other Guys with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg, it was great. Mark Wahlberg, he wanted to be on the field and he couldn't, and he just had enough. He stormed out. He's like, I'm a peacock. You gotta let me fly. And it was just one of those really quirky lines that you wouldn't expect Mark Wahlberg to say. And the two guys who looked at him, they kind of looked at each other like, what?
Peacocks don't fly. In the movie, the peacocks fly. Let's see. What would I be? You know what? I'm gonna say a lobster. Just because I would be delicious.
He's gonna be the.
He would
Yeah, but
satisfy a lot
I
of
would
people.
satisfy a lot of people.
You would be eaten. I don't want to be eaten.
Well, I mean, you'd die at some point. Basically, garbage. No, you know what? I'd be an
True,
oyster.
but
I'd be an oyster
no,
because if the whole point is that you become an animal because you can't find love, if I were to become an oyster, I would be an aphrodisiac and therefore help someone else hook up.
Okay.
You guys gotta
Notice
think,
we
man, there's
haven't
layers.
really mentioned the cast yet. So it's
Oh, yeah.
starring Colin Farrell,
Irish Colin Farrell.
John C. Reilly, and Rachel Weisz for the highlight at Cast Any.
I honestly only recognize Colin Farrell, to be quite honest. And
Well,
I mean,
yes, you're right.
So we got 3 minutes left. Which one do we want?
Rapid
to,
fire.
Which one do we want to cover?
Let's see. We got X-Men, we got Alice, we got Neighbors. I'm pretty sure we can omit Neighbors.
Yeah.
We got The Nice Guys.
can we do X-Men?
Let's do X-Men.
do
Yeah,
X-Men.
let's jump to
Let's
X-Men.
jump right back to Marvel.
So, yeah.
Keep the people what they want.
I haven't seen the X-Men trailer yet. I mean,
No?
from what the new one, I saw the first one, and it looks really good.
Gods of Egypt. Gods of Egypt with not just white people.
Yeah, yeah, basically. Yeah, this one here, I come from a religious background, so like the whole apocalypse thing and the Four Horsemen, whatever, is like really cool, and it's like stunning images and visuals. So I think it's really it's gonna be interesting. I mean, I haven't seen any of the only X-Men's movie I think I've seen was The Last Stand and.
Please tell me you've seen Days of Future Past.
Okay,
Yes.
cool.
So I'm kind of new to the X-Men universe, but this one looks really good. Yeah, I don't know what else to say.
I just feel like it definitely adds that other layer to
Yeah.
To Marvel Comics, and it's a lot like Cap 3, where there is a little more conflict amongst the superheroes themselves, as opposed to them just fighting regular crime.
The thing with X-Men is that they never really fight regular crime, right? No one's ever out chasing purse snatchers. It's always been a fight amongst.
Well, yeah, I didn't mean that literally.
Right. But yeah, no. With them, it's always been your adversary is just as strong, if not stronger, than you, right? It's never been a bank robber or an evil genius. It's like that. There's an evil genius, but he can also control metal, and he has an arse. He has so the comic books and TV shows, he has an entire nation loyal to him of mutants who are willing to fight.
I did not know that.
Genosha? Sorry, I believe that's what it's called.
What I like about the Avengers and X-Men movies is that X-Men is owned by Fox and Avengers is owned by Disney.
Right.
So they're within Marvel, there are these two giant companies that are battling against each other to make better movies.
Right.
So we can always depend on Marvel to push out these really awesome movies, because even within Marvel, you got just these two heavy-hitting competitors.
That's important, man. Especially you notice with the original Spider-Man movies, there was really no competition from them. So they had free range to just make a crappy movie because they could bank on the property's name.
Right.
But like you mentioned, right, Fox owning one and then Disney owning the other one, it's kind of like push and pull, and they're forced to be better because they want to outdo each other, right? It's kind of the sense of healthy competition between billion-dollar industries.
I think that's definitely one advantage that Marvel has over DC. I mean, I love DC, but just that competition within one entity is.
Yeah, I honestly don't find DC comics very exciting.
You know what's
to be
funny?
honest.
I have the opposite opinion. I mean, I grew up with both of them, but I always felt that what I liked about Marvel was kind of that fantastical make believe that this is superhuman and different. And then with DC, what I liked was even though they had that aspect with superheroes and Aquaman and Superman, and I like how I mentioned Aquaman first. It's a little more human. It's a little more realistic in a sense.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Has there ever been a live action Aquaman?
Probably in the
There will
70s.
Yeah.
No.
I've never seen. I'm curious to see what that would look like.
You know what? Aquaman gets so much crap, but he's actually a really interesting character.
Apparently, he has a lot of different abilities.
He's badass, man. I mean, think of it this way. Okay, cool. Batman's got Gotham. Superman's got Metropolis. So-and-so's got whatever. And then you have this dude who's in charge of literally
He is
the entire
ruling
ocean.
the entire
of the
ocean.
Earth.
That is badass.
That's badass.
Honestly,
You know what I mean?
He can take that ocean and destroy everything that everyone else.
Which is,
rules.
yeah.
And his trident could actually pierce Superman, so...
There you go. Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
He's actually a god, isn't he?
Yeah.
Aquaman
I
is
would
actually
think
a
so.
god.
Yeah.
Aquaman has gotten a lot of flack in the future, but in the comics, like the New 52 title has really like that. Like he's like a badass character in the New 52.
Well, I mean,
title.
even in JLA, the old cartoon,
Yeah.
when he had the hook for a hand,
Okay, yeah.
he was a badass man. Like he interchangeable tools for his hand and stuff, and like his fist became his trident, and he was insane. I feel like all of that flack came from like the campy '70s Justice Friends.
Yes.
Where like he really didn't do anything but ride dolphins and like show up in the opening title sequence.
Well, if you think about like, usually what people make fun of is exactly that. Because
Right.
honestly, for a long time, I had that perception because that's what I saw, and it was
Exactly.
just like this guy riding.
Thanks,
a dolphin.
Family Guy and Robot Chicken.
Right? Exactly. I was just gonna say Robot Chicken.
For me, like the huge differences between like DC and Marvel, these are things that I admire respectively about each. Is DC is very story driven, so they will drag out a story, which is awesome if you are a story person. Marvel is very cut to the chase. They do a lot of action scenes, and that's why I will always favor Marvel over DC, just because it's like to the point.
Right.
I feel like
Well,
that's
I mean,
what-
look at the success of all the other Marvel movies compared to Batman vs Superman.
Okay, don't put that up. That doesn't count.
I
No
mean,
Superman
it just
movie counts.
surpassed Iron Man if I'm going to mention its defense in any way.
Okay, you can't just talk numbers because people are going to go in with expectations and then
Yeah,
you know.
fair enough. I relate. I find Marvel comic heroes to be a lot more relatable.
Some of my favorite favorite heroes are Marvel comic heroes, right?
And they're relatable because they do tend to like cater to like the average Joe. Like even in the comics, they'll pump in like real life characters. Like Obama had a thing in Spider-Man for a bit. Where in DC, it's kind of like far removed from reality. Like Spider-Man is in like Hell's Kitchen, or is it New York? Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, it's in New York.
And then, but like in DC, you got these kind of like fantasy cities like Gotham and Metropolis.
But you got to remember, when DC started, like literally being Detective Comics, it was about like these stories that took place in like a town that was just like yours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like people would never be like, oh yeah, this murder happened in New York. Yeah, no shit. You know what I mean? It's like,
Right.
oh, this murder happened in this big city with like trains and lights and like it's seedy
Right.
underbelly. You know what I mean? That's what DC was, and that's why they have that separation where it's like, yeah, these aren't real places, but it could be your hometown.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? As opposed to Marvel being a little bit younger than DC, they can be like, yeah, this guy swings around New York dressed like a spider, right? Or like these guys live in like northern wherever in like this giant mansion and they're all mutants. It's like it's there's a reason for it, and the reason for it is that you can either make someone feel integrated into your story by presenting them a location or a setting that they can relate to and be like, yeah, that might be where I'm from. Or you can be like, yeah, Spider-Man's from New York. And everyone from New York is like, yeah, Spider-Man's from New York, bro. But I'm from Toronto. I can't be like, oh yeah, Spider-Man's from Toronto.
We are at 7:34, so I think we should wrap up.
I just want to take a quick shout out to Alice Through the Looking Glass, Alan Rickman's final film.
Oh, is it really his
Ever.
final film? Why didn't we talk about this? Ah! Okay, I love Ellen
Next
Rickman.
podcast.
Yeah. Another podcast for another time.
Yes.
But
Oh yeah, R.I.P. Alan Rickman. All right, guys, any final thoughts? No?
Not at the moment.
Chirp, chirp, chirp.
crickets.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Daryl, do you want to close it up for us?
Thanks for listening, everybody. Hi guys, I'm here with Mocha, Mattie, Adrian, Josh.